Good day everyone, we are Group 3 and before we start our discussion, we prepared a simple activity. It's called word hunt in this activity. There are words that are hidden and the student have to find them this word are related to the topic we're going to discuss and every word that is found is equivalent to 2 points.
Our topic is all about drawing conclusion about population mean based on test statistic value and critical region. The final step in testing hypothesis is to interpret the results or draw conclusions out of the computed value. In this topic, you will decide whether you reject or not the null hypothesis.
In general, if the absolute value of the computed value is greater than the absolute value of the critical value, we reject the null hypothesis and support the alternative hypothesis. But if the absolute value of the computed value is less than the absolute value of the critical value, we do not reject. We fail to reject the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis is not supported. Kapag ang absolute value ng computed value ay mas mataas sa absolute value ng critical value, i-reject natin ang null hypothesis at ang alternative hypothesis ay susuportahan. Pero kapag ang absolute value ng computed value ay mas mababa kaysa absolute value ng critical value, di natin i-reject ang null hypothesis at hindi masusuportahan ang alternative hypothesis.
In a write-up test, if the computed value is greater than the critical value, we reject the null hypothesis and supported the alternative hypothesis. But if the computed value is less than the critical value, we do not reject or we fail to reject the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis is not supported.
Sa write-up test, kapag ang computed value ay mas malaki kaysa sa critical value, automatic na i-reject natin ang null hypothesis. Pero kapag ang computed value mas mababa kaysa sa critical value, hindi natin i-reject ang null hypothesis at hindi natin susuportahan ang alternative hypothesis. So gaya na lamang ng kinapakita example dito. Dito, ating alpha ay 0.05. Ang ating null hypothesis, population mean is equal to 70. Ating alternative hypothesis, this population mean is greater than 17. Ang ating sample mean ay 71.5. Ang ating population standard deviation ay 8. Ang ating population mean is 70 at ang ating n is equal to 100. Since ito ay one-tailed test at na-mention din ng direction of the distribution, which is yung the alternative hypothesis ay gumamit ng symbol na greater than, at ang ating population standard deviation ay known, ang n ay greater than 30, gamit tayo ng z-test. Ang ating level of significance is 0.05 from table 1. The critical z-value is 1.645 or kapag ni-round off is 1.65. So, itong formula natin gagamitin. Sample mean meron ng population mean divide the population standard deviation divided by the square root of n. So, convert natin siya. So, given 71.5 by ng 70 is equal to 1.5. Then, the square root of 100 is 10. Thus, 8 divided by 10 is equal to 0.8. Then, 1.5 divided by 0.8 is equal to 1.875 or kapag ni-round off, 1.88. Pagdating naman sa ating graph, ito yung ating critical value, yung 1.65, at nakuha natin siya dun sa table ng Z critical value. Ang ating computed value naman is 1.88, which is, andito siya banda. So, dahil dyan, ang ating decision ay i-reject natin ang null hypothesis at susuportahan ang alternative hypothesis dahil mas malaki yung ating computed value kesa sa critical value.
In a left-tail test, if the compute value is less than the critical value, we reject the null hypothesis and support the alternative hypothesis, but if the compute value is greater than the critical value, we do not reject or we fail to reject the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis is not supported.
Pagdating naman sa left-tail test, kabaliktaran naman ito ng right-tail test dahil kapag ang computed value ay mas mababa kaysa sa critical value, i-reject natin ang null hypothesis. Pero kapag mas mataas ang computed value sa critical value, hindi natin mare-reject ang null hypothesis at hindi natin masusuportahan ang alternative hypothesis. Ito ang halimbawa ng left-tail test. Ang ating alpha ay gumamit at 0.01. Ang ating null hypothesis, population mean is equal to 127. Ang ating alternative hypothesis, ang population mean is less than 127. Ang ating sample mean ay 124.5. Ang ating standard deviation ay 5. Ang ating population mean ay 127 at ang ating n ay 12. So dahil ito left-tail test, nabanggit dito yung direction of the distribution, which is yung ating alternative hypothesis ay gumamit ng symbol na less than. Ating population standard deviation is unknown at ang ating n less than 30, igamit tayo ng t-test. Then, degree of freedom natin is 12, so minus 1 is equal to 11. Therefore, ating t-critical value from table 2 is negative 2.718 or 2.72. So, ang ating formula ay for t-test ay sample mean minus population mean divided by standard deviation divided by the square root of n. So, 124.5 minus 127 divided by 5 divided by the square root of 12. So, 124.5 minus 27 is equal to negative 2.5. Then, square root of 12 is 3.46. 5 divided by 3.46 is equal to 1.44. Then, negative 2.5 divided by 1.44 is equal to negative 1.736 or 1.74. Pagdating sa ating graph, dahil nito ang ating critical value ng 2.72, negative 2.72 rather, then ang ating completed value naman is negative 1.736 or 1.74 is nandito siya banda. So, dahil dyan, ang ating decision ay di natin i-reject ang null hypothesis dahil mas malaki ang completed value kaysa sa critical value. Lagi rin nating tatandaan na ang part nito ay yung rejection region at ang part nito ay ang acceptance o non-rejection region. Sa example 3 naman, the government claims that 10,000 is the monthly expenses of a Filipino family with 4 members. A sample of 26 families has mean monthly expenses of 10,900 and a standard deviation of 1,250. Is there enough evidence to reject the government's claim at alpha 2.5%? So question natin na ating given ay ang ating null hypothesis, ang ating population mean is equal to 10,000. At ang ating alternative hypothesis ang population mean is not equal to 10,000. Ang ating sample mean is 10,800. At ang ating population mean ay 10,000. At ang ating standard deviation ay 1,250. At ang n ay 26. So ngayon, ito ay two-tailed test. Since hindi naman nabanggit ang direction of the distribution, at ang ating population standard deviation is unknown, at ang n is less than 30. Gagamit tayo ng t-test at ang ating degree of freedom. So dahil ito ay two-tailed test dahil hindi naman nabanggit ang direction of the distribution, at ang ating population standard deviation is unknown, at ang n natin is less than 30, which is yung 26. Gagamit tayo ng t-test. At ang ating degree of freedom is 25 dahil n minus 1 is equal to 25. At ang ating alpha is 2.5%. Dahil dyan, ang ating t-critical value from table 2 is 2.48 or 2.49. Ngayon, meron tayo. Ito ang ating formula ang gagamitin. Sample mean minus population mean divided by standard deviation divided by the square root of n. So, 10,900 minus 10,000 divided by the 1,250 divided by the square root of 26. So, 10,900 minus 10,000 is equal to 900. And the square root of 26 is 5.10. I-divide natin ang 1,250 sa 5.10. Therefore, meron tayo 245.10. At pag dinivide naman natin ang 900 sa 245.10, makakalabasan natin ay 3.671. Para tayo sa ating graph, dahil ito ay two-tailed test, galing sa ating key critical value, ito ay 2.485 or 2.49. So, magkabilaan, so ating computed value is 3.67, which is, andito sila banda. So, our decision is the absolute value of the computed t-value is greater than the absolute of the critical t-value at alpha 0.025, which is yung 3.67 is greater than 2.49. Therefore, reject the null hypothesis.
And now we all proceed in Q&A to know if you understand the lesson that we haven't discussed. Here's the question. Does rejecting null hypothesis is incorrect or the alternative hypothesis is correct?
And now, let's proceed to our quiz.